What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Effin' Nerds podcast. Today we are going to review The Vast of Night. My name is Nick Tenizio. That's Martin Moreno.
What's up, dude?
How we
doing?
doing?
I just saw you.
I know, right?
And I feel like I just said that.
Hopefully, if you guys have been watching our review videos, you're kind of catching on as to what's going on here. But that's besides the point.
Whoa.
We're talking about...
Giving away secrets.
We're talking about The Vast of Night. Premiered, I guess, last month, like in May, right? On Amazon Prime.
I believe it was like May 14th or May 15th.
Yeah.
Like that.
And heard a lot of good things about it. Wanted to check it out, and let's jump right in. What would you take away from it? What did you like most about The Vast of Night?
What I liked the most, I liked the camera work. I thought there was some very interesting camera work, some long shots that resulted in very sort of intimate and engaging scenes. And I just loved the aspect of it. I loved this whole kind of dive into this sort of old school Twilight Zone aesthetic, which I know was something that was being thrown around a lot. And yeah, that was like, it was very evident, and that's something that I personally just like really enjoyed about the movie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I would agree with you. I think my favorite aspect was its camera work. Mm-hmm. The camera work is really good. There's some really fantastic tracking shots. There's some really good long takes, which also goes into the acting as well. And then there's just like how it's, you know, how it's framed, and, you know, it really gives this sense of, like, I had like this just overall like anxiety and sense of dread, like, as this movie progressed, mm-hmm. because of how they started to just kind of dive into what was happening. And as it got further and further, you just kind of got like this like really like clenched up feeling of like what's gonna happen. Like,
and it gets a little creepy.
It gets really creepy.
Like those like phone conversations, like we were saying, when it's like a long hold, like, yes. A long take. I believe that first there was like I believe it was a take that was like almost 10 minutes long.
Yeah,
which is fucking awesome.
Insane.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I'm like. It just creates a sort of very intimate and kind of personal connection, and it makes you really engaged. So you're just like, your butthole's just like pucking out as you're watching this thing. Yeah, I agree. I also want to see kind of how they do it, because there's the one shot when they go through like the fields and the road.
Yeah, which is awesome.
I'm like,
shot.
Did someone hand a fucking GoPro to like a guy on a bike or something?
Right, or like, is this on like a drone and it's just like really like,
yeah, duh.
You know,
obviously that.
Well, that's the other thing too, is that it's almost too clean to be on a drone, because it makes these hard cuts.
And it also goes low, like,
yes.
It goes down low. So I was thinking maybe it was somebody like. I was thinking maybe like on the bike, or literally somebody running. Like they got like a long distance runner, and they were like with the gimbal and everything. But yeah, the camera work and the long takes were definitely what stood out to me, and just the aesthetic of the film.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, that's the other thing too, is that there's a lot of quick, like, snappy dialogue, and this is supposed to take place in like the late 1950s, mm-hmm. and I felt like these characters were portraying that very well without going into like that over the top parody of being in the 1950s. Like, they were able to do that.
Like the
really,
golly wizard, mister. Like,
exactly.
It wasn't like too much.
It wasn't too much. It felt just right, and mm-hmm. And then that's the other thing too, like the whole aesthetic of the movie, the production design, the way things looked. Even though there's not too many different locations, what there was, it made it feel like it was the 1950s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed.
So, with that said, what were some of the things that you didn't like about it?
As much as I loved the dialogue, there was also moments that I didn't like the dialogue. I thought, if you're going to watch this movie, I understand and I would agree that it's that people probably check out early on, mm-hmm. like maybe in the first like 10 minutes, because there's just so much stuff going on. I feel like those 10 minutes, the first like opening 10 minutes are like probably 30 pages worth of dialogue, because it's just constant and it's nonstop. You're just going all over the place, and I don't really understand why.
Yes.
I feel like it was just filler.
Right.
Just maybe to give the sense of the world, to give a sense of what they were trying to accomplish. But the first 10 minutes to me, I was like, all right, where are we going with this? And then it finally, once it kind of settles down, then it kind of really finds its footing, you know, about 20 minutes into the movie. Mm-hmm. So that was like one of the issues I had with it. As much as again, going back to the camera work, even though I loved it, there were certain moments where like you were saying, the edits are very quick and erratic, and you have like these really long, engaging, intimate takes that are then instantly contrasted by these very quick, rapid, you know, kind of cuts and edits.
Yeah.
I am not 100% familiar with Twilight Zone episodes.
Yeah.
I wish I was. I've been meaning to get to that for a long time, because that's kind of like up my alley. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if maybe that was a thing. I don't know if maybe, these kind of quick cuts.
I don't really. I mean, I've seen a couple Twilight Zone episodes. I don't ever remember it being like that, especially since this is more of like a new school kind of way of editing, like having it quick and like snappy and like a little flashy. Like
I think it works in certain contexts. Like I think if you're doing like maybe like comedy or quick funny banter, it could work. I'm not saying it can't work in other senses, but that's kind of how I've seen it really work. But yeah, I wasn't sure if they were trying to go for something very reminiscent of what was at the time, like if maybe 1950s cinema or late 1950s cinema was very like that was a thing then. I don't know if maybe they were trying to adopt that.
It definitely wasn't. Like maybe certain shots of it are, but that.
Well, you're what, like 6 years old? So.
Fuck you.
So I'm sure like some Twilight Zone episodes came out when you were like 10.
Yeah.
So maybe you remember.
But like, yeah, I don't think that was anything like that. I think that was just that's like I said. This is that sort of editing is more of a newer kind of thing. It's not anything that would have been an homage to the 1950s. But what you're saying about the opening like 10 minutes, the way I took it was that they were just trying to give what life is like in this small town and almost kind of how boring it was, because like I found myself checking out of the dialogue, like because it just goes on and on and on, and like especially the one character Faye, and when she's talking to Everett and they're going through, it's a really nice tracking shot and where they're walking. Like I really like how it's framed and like the setting and everything, but like I kept checking out of what she was saying because I was like I couldn't connect with it, and like it was just flying by so quickly that I was just like I don't even like what are they saying? Like what is
there
going on here?
There are moments where you literally cannot understand what they're saying.
Yes, like and it's so fast, especially Everett. Like in the beginning, like
his character was almost like a little too over the top.
But it was like I want to hear what he's saying, and he's got the cigarette in his mouth, and he's talking with the cigarette in his mouth. I'm like, dude, I can't understand what you're saying. Like,
yeah, it's almost like they were trying. Like again, which is interesting because we are kind of in spoiler territory, but that's fine. Movie's been out for a month, whatever.
Yeah.
If we spoil stuff for you, then you can tell us to go fuck ourselves. It's fine. I don't care. But we open up with that sort of shot of going into the TV. So it's almost like a thing where you're an audience member in the movie watching
a TV show. Right.
And that sort of aspect I got that these, like, look, every time you see something, obviously it's actors, it's not real. But I got the fact that these were actors in this world acting. Right. If that makes any sense. Like a little actingception.
Yes.
Layers upon layers. Right. Onions have layers. But I got that sense. So I got the sense that like this, like the Everett character, that was a character being played by someone in that world. Like I kind of got that feel. But yeah, it's like you were saying, I think they were just trying to do some sort of world building, kind of give us an idea of what the time and the world is like.
Right.
Like you were saying, you nailed it perfectly with the small town. Like she says it, like she just walks everywhere. There's no need for a car.
Right.
That's literally what they fucking do. They walk from the school all the way to where she's working. And it's like, again, it's a long shot, and the dialogue is just, you can tell it's voiceover. Yes. Which is fine.
Yeah.
You got to do what you can, especially on such a low budget.
Yeah.
And for that long ass shot, like I imagine, like it's fine. It's fine. I didn't have a problem with that. I just had the same issue that there was just so much going on, and it was just it didn't serve a purpose. It was just for the sake of like, let's just talk, kind of build this world, give the feeling of what it's like, and fine, but like if don't check out. That's all I'm saying.
Right. If you can just like, that's probably the worst aspect of the movie is that first like 15 minutes. And that was the other thing too. Like they're walking past like these lights, and I was like, oh, maybe like one of the lights is gonna start following them. And
I kept thinking
like there has to be something relevant here for this all to be happening, and there's just not. Maybe there is, and like we missed it. Maybe there's like really like hidden subtle things, but it just doesn't feel like it has any relevance. Like the movie really doesn't get started until, spoiler territory, Faye gets to her job, which she's like a telephone operator.
Yeah,
where she's changing the cord, which is cool to see. But that's when the movie really starts. Like
John Wick shit.
Like you could honestly just fade into that, and I would have been like, cool, fine. Like I would have had no problem with that.
And I mean, the movie's not long.
No, it's not long. It's like 90 minutes.
But but yeah, exactly. It's like, I don't give it as an hour 20 movie. Like it's fine.
It's totally fine.
Yeah, I'm just like, we cannot stress this enough. Do not check out in the first 10 minutes because I can imagine a lot of people will.
Yes.
But don't. But yes, I agree. Once we get to her,
and then that first phone call just sucks you in.
Yeah, with
I think it's Billy. His name's Billy, right?
Billy calling Everett.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it goes to like Faye, and then it goes like it hops around. Yeah, and then some of the dialogue in that scene is so good.
Yes.
Kudos to the writer. I didn't look him up. I apologize. but whoever he or she was or they, like that's really like, okay, you're trying to get engaged, and then some of the things that are being said, some of the I guess we are in spoiler territory. Like when he says that it was just Mexicans and black people that were hired because no one's going to listen to them, I was like, oh, this is so good. Like I was like, yes, like let's go. Right. We're in this. Let's fucking go. But another thing that I like too was the sort of artistic and stylistic choices that were made. Like there's certain times where it goes in that conversation, it goes black.
Yes.
So you're almost kind of
listening, like it gives you that feel of like you're listening to this on the radio.
Yeah, you like, or you're really driving at night, or you're kind of just laying in bed and you're listening to that. Another thing was like that. It goes in and out of like almost a TV. Like you're almost watching this on the TV. You know, like when it kind of pans out and it gets like the staticky. Yeah. Like you're watching a TV thing, and then you're kind of coming back and forth. So very interesting stylistic and artistic choices that were made that worked for me. And then just I think the final shot really stuck with me.
It hits home. It like it's another like powerful shot, like how it ends. And oh shit. The other thing that I would say is, you know, you mentioned how they kind of play with it as if you're like trying to listen to it on the radio. The call signs of the station are WOTW, which, if you guys know your radio history,
War of the Worlds.
War of the Worlds.
That just hit
That's
me.
a nice callback to War of the Worlds.
Was that intentional?
I think it was intentional.
That's awesome.
I did a little bit of internet research, and I saw that was like, yeah,
good for you, JoJo.
But that was a really cool thing, and I was like, oh, because it's perfect, because, you know, like most of this movie is dialogue heavy. Most of it is either listening on the radio or talking on the phone. So it's all about what you're hearing, and you're kind of, you know, when these characters are talking, you're painting this picture in your head of what they're talking about. So you might not see it, but like your imagination is like filling in the blanks of like, you know, like when Billy's talking, I'm just sitting there thinking of like, as he's speaking, I'm picturing him going through all this stuff.
Yes,
which is
I'm
really
picturing
cool.
him like in this old house sitting on like a green chair, in overalls and like a button down, talking. Like I can paint it all out in my head. But yeah, it's really, and also something. Again, we're in spoiler territory, and we have to do with aliens. It's never really specified whether they're hostile aliens or not, which I think is very, because she says that he's up there living, like the crazy lady, that he's up there and living, and then the scene in the car, it's, you know, it's coming, but it's so good, and
you just have like this like oh fuck,
and you know it's coming, like you know it's gonna happen, like the second he starts playing back, you're like, these people are gonna start like zoning out, looking up, and it happens, and you're just like, ah. But it's so good. It's so good.
It's really good. The other thing I want to ask you, the two leads, what do you think?
I thought they were good.
Yeah.
Nothing mind-blowing. Yeah. I would like to see more of them, maybe in a different kind of aesthetic, I guess. Yeah,
you got Sierra McCormick, who played Faye, and then you got Jake Horowitz, who played Everett.
Have they been in anything else that we know of?
You know what's funny is I didn't recognize them. I'm going to say no. I don't think that, doing a quick IMDb search, they weren't really in too much. Although Sierra McCormick, I think she's definitely been in some stuff. Looking at this, she had some small parts in Land of the Lost with Will Ferrell. And she was in Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Okay. So, yeah, because they didn't really look too
but she's definitely had some work though. But she was really good. Like we were talking about that really long take before that the movie kind of once it starts to going and she's at her job, like that camera's focused on her as she's handling all these different calls, and it doesn't cut.
No, and it feels genuine, 100%. Like there was never.
I think you even said it. You're like the camera's cut.
Because I'm not because I'm not even breathing. Right. I was just like holding my breath. I was like, wow. I'm like, how long has this fucking tape been going on? And it's so good. Yeah. Something else I want to bring up is the hidden monster aspect in films. Like the T-Rex, we only get a couple minutes of them. The shark in Jaws, Godzilla. Yeah. But we only get maybe no more than 3 minutes of spaceships. Yes. And I think
and you only get like a good 10-second shot of maybe more, a little 30 seconds of the actual ship
of like the mothership. But that shot when we see it lurking there in the dark,
it's so good,
creeped me out. I was like,
because you're just waiting for it to just zip over and either grab them or whatever.
It's that mystery, like what is happening, like the whole aspect of it I really enjoyed. And then the fact, and then going up to like the mothership, and as it was like kind of playing out, in my head I was thinking like, in my head I was thinking the final shot is going to be just the recorder. Like that was like that's what it's going to be, and that's exactly what it happened. And that's what really stuck to me. Not because I was right, but just because that's what it was leading up to, and it was properly executed. You know, so
I would agree. Yeah, it's another movie where it gets better as it goes along, and in its third act, it really delivers on what it's been setting up.
Yeah, you're just like, holy shit.
Right. All right. So with all that said, how would you score it?
Well, we already did a review on the Twits, a written review, and I scored it at a 7.9. Kind of talking about it and being excited, I maybe would go like 0.1 or 0.2 higher, maybe like an 8.1.
Yeah.
But I'll stick to my guns. I'll stick to my guns, and I still think a 7.9 is a good score. If you round it off, that's an 8. So
yeah.
7.9. A lot to. I think as far as the movies that we saw this week, this was definitely my favorite one.
Yes.
There's a lot to take away from it. This whole sort of sci-fi horror aspect of the film is up my alley, so I'm definitely that audience. Like I'm definitely who they're tailoring to. But yeah, just some of the decisions, especially early on, even like the thing with the horn that didn't go anywhere.
Right.
It was just like I don't understand what the whole notion was with that. Maybe we missed something.
Right.
I don't know. But some of the struggles early on is what kind of I think really separated from being like a higher score.
Right. Well, that's my thing too. Even though I've said that, like, if you're able to nail your ending, I can forgive a lot of flaws, like previously. But with this movie, because those first 15 minutes really go nowhere, you're kind of breaking this like cardinal sin of like, when you start a movie, you need to suck your audience in. And this like and it reflects in the audience score. Rotten Tomatoes, it's only 62%.
That's
you know what I mean?
I disagree with that.
I know I do too. Like I think the audience score is at like 92, but the audience score is dipped, and it's because like I think you just lose people those first 15 minutes because it for even if it's well intended, it's well shot. I think the acting is very well done because they're spouting off this insane amount of dialogue at such a fast pace, and even though as an audience we can't understand it, you want to understand it, it's still impressive that they're able to do this, and especially in these long tracking shots. But at the same point, it feels like it goes nowhere. It kind of doesn't set up your movie well enough to really like suck your audience in. Like you want to be able to suck your audience in at the first, like it's like when you're writing an essay, you want to be able to bring people in your opening
because these are
paragraph.
people watching it at home. They're not in a theater.
Exactly.
So they can't leave. I mean, you could leave the theater, but at a theater, you're almost kind of like forced to stay.
Well, what people do at home is they just turn it off.
They turn it off. Yeah. They go on their phone.
Right.
They completely lose interest. That's why we were like stressing out the fact early on. If you're gonna watch it, stick it out. If you want to fast forward to when Faye is in her job, you literally can. You can, like, and that's fine. Like,
and you won't miss anything.
You won't.
Like the only thing this does is it sets up a relationship between Everett and Faye. And that's it. It sets up like the dynamic between the two, and that these are going to be the two characters that you're with for the rest of the movie. Yeah. But it could have been done better, and that's kind of why. And that's what drags the score down a lot for me. I think I'm at a 7.6. Is my overall score, and I think if that opening was stronger, I would have been a lot more higher on this movie.
Same.
But for what it is, for being such a low budget and kind of an independent movie, I think that I was doing more research on it, and it was rejected from like almost every major film festival. Like nobody would pick this up, like Sundance, South by Southwest, like, which kind of sucks. But it's nice that critics seem to really like it. I think a lot of people that enjoy these types of movies love it, which is really cool. And I think that this director has a really good eye, and he has a good sense for building the, it hits its tone so well when it gets those phone calls, and you just have this overall creepy feeling, and it doesn't let up for the rest of the movie. Like you're kind of on, if you get sucked into it, you're on edge for the whole movie. You're just waiting for something to happen to these characters.
And it's just building up and building up, and you're just peeling away, and you're just like waiting. But I think when you're dealing with a much smaller budget, you're almost forced to be more story driven. And that's really where the situation here. But yeah, stick it out for the first 15 minutes or fast forward, I don't know, but definitely check this movie out. I think it's all like the features on, like, for example, on Shudder, like Bliss, which I told you about, Loose. These are like not Naomi Watts.
Oh, not that one. They're different.
Yeah, it's a German one.
Okay.
Which is amazing. It's fantastic. So is Bliss. I keep saying that. I could check it out. But like these are like hour and 10 movies. They're features, so like I think I don't know. I could be wrong, but maybe it's the notion of like, oh, we have to make it at least 90 minutes for it to be a feature. Like it doesn't have to be,
right?
You know? And that's just my like. I'm not saying that's what the director had in mind or the writer had in mind,
right?
But like, yeah, I think it would have succeeded a lot more. Like we were saying, I know we said it a bunch of times, but if
you could have shortened that opening too. Like if you were trying to give
rid of it,
or gotten rid of it.
If like you said, if it just opened up with fan and thing, I think it would have been just as. I don't think we would have lost anything in the because they even clarify like people. There's a basketball game. You go back to like everything that we kind of got exposed to in the beginning of the film. We kind of touch back up on later on. So, but overall, really enjoyed it.
Very enjoyed it. Thank you guys for watching. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
If you're gonna go for a walk.
Dude, you need to come up with something better. I feel like you said this 2 times already.
Yeah, but that was like yesterday and the day before.
That was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that was exactly when we Last Day came out last month. This was it.
Give me a scenario.
Grocery shopping.
All right, if you're grocery shopping.
If you're gonna go grocery shopping, toilet paper is back in stock now.
Yeah.
So if you need to go buy some toilet paper, if you need to go buy food or whatever, you're going to be gone for maybe 90 minutes, maybe, depending on how far the place is. When we go grocery shopping, we're gone for like a couple hours.
Right.
So when you leave, just open up that Spotify app, go to Offenders Podcast, hit play. If you have pets at home and you don't want to traumatize them with our voice, that's fine. Just mute it and just let it play. Just give it a couple clicks.
Give it a couple spins.
Yes. Not to sound desperate, but yeah.
Every cent counts.
Every cent counts, baby. Every cent. It adds up. We have a digital water jug container that we're just putting pennies in.
Right, basically.
Yeah.
But thanks again for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Yeah, later.